Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to add webhook response in MySQL. So here I am running an e-commerce store and I want to connect that same e-commerce store with my MySQL database in such a way that whenever a new order will be placed in that same e-commerce store, immediately the record of that order with all the details will be added in my MySQL database, that too automatically. So here, in order to set up the connection between my e-commerce store and MySQL database, I am using Pabbly Connect. Now here the condition is that the store which I want to set up the connection with is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. So how we are going to set up this connection? For that, in order to capture the response from that e-commerce store towards Pabbly Connect, I am going to use Webhook by Pabbly, which is going to capture the response whenever a new order will be placed from that e-commerce store towards Pabbly Connect, and the data will be transferred automatically in MySQL database. So if you also want to learn this amazing automation step by step, for that you have to come towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step that how can we automatically add webhook response in MySQL database. So as I told you here, let's suppose I am running an e-commerce store and I want to connect that e-commerce store with my MySQL database in such a way that as soon as a new order will be placed on my store, immediately the record of that order with all these details such as order ID, customer name, email address of the customer, phone number, item name, quantity and the amount to be paid should be recorded in my MySQL database, so that I can keep a track on all the orders and the amount. Okay, I am going to automate this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, for which I have to set up a connection between my e-commerce store and MySQL database. And as a condition, as I've told you, that the e-commerce store which I'm using is not natively connected or integrated with Pabbly Connect. So how I'm going to set up the connection between MySQL and my e-commerce store? For that, I'm going to use Webhook by Pabbly, which is going to help me to capture the webhook response from my e-commerce store every time a new order will be placed and to be recorded over here in my MySQL database automatically. Let's suppose here I'm going to take an example in the scenario for WooCommerce. Okay. Here we are just going to take the example. Let's imagine that WooCommerce is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. So we are going to connect WooCommerce with Pabbly Connect with the help of Webhook by Pabbly. Although let me tell you, WooCommerce is connected directly and effortlessly with Pabbly Connect as well. Here I'm just showing you the example that how we can set up a connection between an application and Pabbly Connect with the help of Webhook, which is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. Okay. So here I'm taking the example of WooCommerce over here so that I can show you how to set up Webhook inside WooCommerce with the help of Webhook by Pabbly, and how we can capture the response from that e-commerce store which we have connected with the help of Webhook by Pabbly inside Pabbly Connect to automate all our processes. Okay, so let's get started. As I told you, we are going to use Pabbly Connect to set up this connection. So this is the home page of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach by tapping the URL pabbly.com/connect in our browser. After coming over here, we will find two options: sign in and sign up for free. In case if you are already an existing user, so you can directly click on sign in, but if you are a new user, you have to click on the sign up for free button to create your free new account. Also, when you will do that, you will receive 100 free tasks every month to explore this amazing software and to test multiple automations. Now, because I am already an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in option. This is all app section where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. To create this automation, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. And it has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. So on this dashboard, we can find all of our workflows which we have created, and we can also create different folders over here in order to save our workflow separately and accordingly. Now, to create a new workflow, we have to click on this create workflow option. Here a dialog box is appear in front of us. It is asking us to provide a name to this workflow. So first of all, I'm going to give a name over here. Add webhook responses in MySQL database. After giving the name to my workflow, I am going to select the folder in which I want to save this workflow. So you can see I have multiple folders over here. I am going to select automations for e-commerce store as my folder, and now we are going to click on create. As we have done that, we can see that a new screen is open in front of us. It contains two important windows, trigger and action. So what are trigger and actions? Trigger and actions are the two main concepts, the principles or the building blocks on which the entire automation runs. The trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. That means the action is a response towards our trigger. So whatever we are going to select in our trigger is going to command the entire workflow, and the actions are going to follow that same command. Therefore, we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can add as many action steps as we want. Let's suppose my objective is that whenever a new response will be captured through Webhook, then immediately that response should be added in my MySQL database. For doing that, here I'm going to take the example of e-commerce store. Let's suppose I want to set up a connection between an e-commerce store and Pabbly Connect that is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to use Webhook by Pabbly to capture the response from that store. And as soon as the response will be captured, I want to insert that response in MySQL. So Webhook by Pabbly is my trigger step and MySQL will be my action step over here. When we are going to set up the connection between these two applications, we can clearly see that action is going to follow what the trigger commands. Because when the trigger happens, that means when the response is captured through Webhook, then only the data will be added in MySQL, otherwise not. So after understanding the whole concept of trigger and action, let us quickly start creating the automation workflow. For setting up the automation, first of all, we have to go towards our trigger step and we have to select our trigger application. As I told you, we are going to set up a connection between an application which is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. So we cannot directly search that application over here. We have to select Webhook by Pabbly. With the help of Webhook by Pabbly, we are going to build a connection between that application and Pabbly Connect. So let's select our trigger application as Webhook by Pabbly. Now we have to select the trigger event. Trigger event is the event on the happening of which the workflow is going to trigger or start. So here we are going to select catch Webhook preferred. So it will trigger whenever a new response will be captured inside Webhook. Okay. Now as we've done that, we can see that a Webhook URL is received to us along with some instructions. It is given in the instructions that log into the application where you want to enter the Webhook URL. Copy the Webhook URL and add it under the Webhook section of that application. Click on the below capture Webhook response button and do a test record so that the Webhook response can be captured over here. This URL is very important because it is going to act as a bridge for transferring the data from that application which we want to connect towards Pabbly Connect whenever our specific event happened. Okay, so here we are going to simply copy this Webhook URL as it is saying. Okay, then we have to log into the application which we want to connect. As I told you, in this scenario we are going to take just an example of WooCommerce. Let's suppose that we are imagining that WooCommerce is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. So we have to connect our WooCommerce store with Pabbly Connect with the help of Webhook by Pabbly. It's just an example. Again and again, I'm telling you that WooCommerce can directly be connected with Pabbly Connect as well. Here, just for showing you how to set up Webhook inside an e-commerce store or any other application, I am taking the example of WooCommerce. Okay, so I'm going to take you towards my WooCommerce store, and here you can see under settings option. So whichever application which you want to connect, you have to go towards the Webhook option of that application after login. So in order to go towards Webhook option, we have to go towards advanced section inside WooCommerce. So I'm going to go towards it, and here I have the option of Webhooks. In the similar manner, you have to find the Webhook option in the application which you are connecting, and you have to insert the Webhook URL over there. I have selected the Webhook option and I'm going to click on add Webhook button to create a new Webhook over here. In a similar manner, you have to create a new Webhook inside the application which you are connecting, and you have to enter certain details. So just you have to provide a name to your Webhook, you have to select the status, then you have to enter the topic or the event on the happening of which you want to capture the response in the similar manner. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to give a name, let's say new orders. I'm going to select active over here as a status. Then the topic will be order created, because my objective is that whenever a new order will be created inside my e-commerce store, then the response should be captured with the help of Webhook URL. In the delivery URL field, you have to enter the Webhook URL which you have copied from Pabbly Connect. In the similar manner, in the field of the Webhook URL or the delivery URL, you have to enter the URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect to set up the connection. And then we will simply click on Save Webhook. In this way, with the help of Webhook URL, we have set up the connection between our e-commerce store and Pabbly Connect. So you can see that our Webhook is updated successfully. Let's go back towards Pabbly Connect. Here I have received a test response. This means that my connection between my e-commerce store and Pabbly Connect is successful. So I'm going to click on recapture Webhook response button, and now I'm going to do a test submission. As you can see, it is showing waiting for Webhook response. So when I'm going to make a test submission inside the application which I want to connect, then the response will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. So because I am setting up the connection between WooCommerce and Pabbly Connect, so I'm going to take you towards my WooCommerce store, and I'm going to go towards the product section over here. I'm going to purchase a particular product from this store so that the response could be captured. Let's say I'm going to make the purchase of this floral multicolor wallpaper. So I'm going to click on view product, and it has redirected me towards the checkout page on my WooCommerce store for this floral multicolor wallpaper of the amount 210. So I'm going to click on add to cart to purchase this product, and here I'm going to click on proceed to checkout. And here on the checkout page, I have entered all the details of the customer, such as first name, last name, company name, country, address, town, okay, state, pin code, phone number, and the email address. You can see the name of the customer who is placing this order is Smart Customer. Okay, here is the email address of this customer, smart56@pabblytools.com, and here is the phone number. After adding all the details, I'm simply going to click on place order. And as we have done that, here my order is being placed, and the payment method over here for this order is cash on delivery. This is the summary of the order. You can see this is the order ID. Here's the date of the order, on which date the order is placed. This is the email of the customer, the amount to be paid, and payment method. As we have placed the order successfully, let's go back towards Pabbly Connect. Here we will wait for the response for a few seconds. And here we have received the response. In this response, when we'll scroll down, you can see that we have received all the details which we have entered while placing this order, as well as related to the customers. So here we have received the amount to be paid by the customer. Here's the status of the order is processing. Here we have the details of the customers, such as first name, last name, address, okay, mode of payment, company name of the customer. Here we have the zip code, state, and here when we'll scroll down, here we have received the order key. Here we have the order ID, as well as the product for which the order is being placed. This means that our connection is absolutely successful. So in the similar manner, with the help of this webhook URL, you have to set up the connection between your application and Pabbly Connect, so that whenever an event occurs inside your application, the response of that event could be captured with the help of webhook. Okay, now once you have set up this connection, we have to add this response towards MySQL database. So this is my database. It contains following details: order ID, customer name, email address of the customer, phone number of the customer, item which is being purchased, quantity of the product, and the amount. Okay, so as soon as the response will be captured through webhook, then I want to insert that captured data inside MySQL. So we have to set up the connection between MySQL and Pabbly Connect. For that, we have to move towards our action step, and here we have to select our action application, that is MySQL. Let's select that. After selecting the application, now we have to select the action event, and here our action event will be insert rows. Let's click on connect. To build the connection, here you have to go towards add new connection, and you have to enter all these details, such as database username, database password, host, database, and the port. So how you're going to get all these details? When you will create your MySQL account, you will receive all these details, such as the username and the password. That means the login credentials of your MySQL account. Then you have to enter the host, database, and the port. So once you will enter all these details, your connection will be absolutely successful. As I have already built a connection earlier with my MySQL account, so I already have all these details. I have added them. Now I'm going to click on save, and with this, my connection between MySQL and Pabbly Connect will be successful. And because I was already logged into my MySQL database before making this connection, so the connection has become easier. Now we have to move forward. First of all, we have to select the table name over here, that in which table you want to insert the data. So the name of my table over here is order details, as you can see. So I'm going to select the same from the drop down, order details. Okay. After entering the name of the table, here we have to enter the order ID, customer name, email, phone number, item name, quantity, and the amount. So we are not going to enter all these details manually, because as we are creating an automation, so what we will do, we will simply insert the data by using our previous response, and in our previous response we will find all these details. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are basically going to map the details. Mapping is inserting data from previous step. Here, because I want to enter the order ID in the webhook response, when we'll scroll down, here we have receive all the details, and here you can see that this is the data ID, that means the order ID. When we will select this order ID, it will be mapped over here. When we map a data, it becomes dynamic, and with each and every new response, it is going to replace automatically. Okay, so once we will map all these details in all these fields, our automation will be completed, because then whenever a new webhook response will be captured through Webhook by Pabbly, every time automatically all these details which we have mapped in these fields will get replaced with the new details of that new response. In this way, our process will be automated, that whenever a new response will be captured through the application with the help of Webhook by Pabbly, then the data from that response will be inserted inside MySQL automatically. Alright, in a similar manner, we are going to map the name of the customer. So here in our response, when we are going to search for the name, this is our first name. I'm going to map that first, and I'm going to use a space, then I'm going to map the last name as well. So in this way, we have mapped the full name, first name and the last name. Then we are going to map the email address. It has redirected me towards the email of the customer. Then we have the phone number. You can either scroll down to search the data, or you can also search the data over here with the help of keywords in the search bar. So I want phone number. I'm going to search phone over here, and it has redirected me. So I've mapped that. Then we have the item name, that which item is being purchased. So here we have the name of the item as floral multicolor wallpaper. I have mapped that. The quantity of this product being purchased is 1. I mapped that as well. And the amount to be paid by the customer. Okay, so we have mapped everything. Now when we are going to click on save and send test request button, You can see that here we have received the response. In the status of the response, it is given that success. That means the data is inserted successfully in our MySQL database. So I'm going to take you back towards my MySQL database. Here I'm going to click on refresh, and you can see that automatically the details are added over here. Okay, the item name is floral multicolor wallpaper. The amount is this, and these are the details of the customer. This means that our connection is absolutely successful. So now whenever a new response will be captured from Webhook by Pabbly from the application which we have connected with Pabbly Connect with the help of Webhook by Pabbly, then immediately the data which we have received will be inserted in MySQL. So now once again I'm going to test this workflow. I'm going to go back towards the application which I have connected, and I'm going to go towards my store once again. Okay, and here I'm going to place the order for this black color outfit. Okay, I'm going to click on add to cart, and here I'm going to simply click on proceed to checkout. Alright, so here I'm going to change the details of the customer. Let's say this time the name of the customer is, let's say the phone number is, and the email address is new@pabblytudes.com. Okay, when we have entered all these details, I will simply click on place order, and the order is placed. So let's go towards MySQL, and we will see whether automatically the details are added there or not. And here you can see that new order details are added over here with the new order ID. Here we have the name of the customer, here we have the email address of the customer, phone number, and the same item which we have purchased. Okay, this means that our connection is absolutely successful and our workflow is also running fine. So let's summarize what we have done over here in this workflow. So actually we have taken very simple steps: trigger and action. In trigger we have taken Webhook by Pabbly, and in action we have taken MySQL. So Webhook by Pabbly is basically used in order to capture the response of an application which is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. As soon as a specific event occurs in that same application, the response will be captured, and that same response will be automatically transferred to other application. And here the other application which we have connected is MySQL. So whenever a new Webhook response will be captured from our application, that will be inserted automatically in MySQL to create a record. I have taken the example of order details over here by setting up a connection between my e-commerce store and Pabbly Connect. And here WooCommerce was just an example in order to show you how to set up this connection with the help of Webhook URL. I hope this video is helpful for you. It is clear to you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can integrate multiple such applications without any coding or programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can reach out to us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any query, you can reach out to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, you can reach out to the website given over here. Now, if you find this video helpful, do not forget to share it with your friends. And also please like our video and subscribe our channel for more such amazing automations.